Father, why can't we have a 3D Settlers of Catan set like the Joneses do? It's fully hand-painted and has magnets that hold the board together. Every resource tile is unique and highly detailed, and the player pieces actually look like settlements, cities, and roads. Why, they even have a dragon for the robber.
We're settlers, son. We settle for things like having flat cardboard games instead of high-quality 3D extruded plastics.
You mean we have to live with the boring pieces the game comes with?
I'm afraid so. Now, take your turn, boy, and then go shear the sheep.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to Make Something Epic. I'm Adam.
And I'm Moses.
And we're going to show you today how we made this totally epic 3D Settlers of Catan board and show you how you can make one as well. As you can see, this is a little bit different from the board that comes with the game. If you've played Catan before, you know that it comes with these crappy little cardboard flat things with little landscapes painted on them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the player pieces are like little blocks of wood. And we thought, hey, that's really kind of boring, so let's make a more epic set. So here's the board, and as you can see, every single piece on this board is unique. We found most of these pieces on Thingiverse, and we're going to leave links to all the pieces that we found in the description below, so you guys can grab those as well. However, we modified just about every piece here. The other really cool thing about this set is it's magnetic, and all the board pieces just snap together with magnets that are embedded inside of them. Now, when we got the models from Thingiverse, they came with holes in the bottom that you would have to jam magnets into in order to get them in there, which worked pretty well, except some of the magnets didn't stay in. But Moses came up with a genius idea to actually enclose it in there, and then when we're in the middle of the printing process, we pause it, stick the magnets in, and then resume it so it covers them up and closes them completely inside, which you can actually see it's nice and clean on the bottom there. So that was really cool. We've made other modifications. For instance, the player pieces, the cities and towns in the ones on Thingiverse were a little bit too similar to each other. So when you're looking at the board, you couldn't tell right away which one was a city and which one was a settlement. So we modified the settlement, and Moses put a fence around it, made it one single house, so it's a little bit easier to tell.
Another cool thing that we did is instead of having the lame cardboard pieces with the picture that tells you how many points you get for like the longest road and the largest army, we made trophies. So this one we found on Thingiverse, and this one we had to design to match.
The other thing is we replaced the robber with this awesome dragon. Again, this is one we found on Thingiverse, but we modified it. The bottom, as you can see, has a little cavity there. And since the numbers are raised on these pieces, it kind of would wobble and fall off. So we put a little cavity in there, and now it just sits right over that number piece on the board. Now, if you want to make a totally epic 3D Catan set like this one, we're going to show you how we did that. And just as a reminder, all of the Thingiverse links are going to be down in the description. And if you want the updated modified files that we've done, those are going to be available to all of our patrons on our Patreon. So check that out, and let's dig in.
Let's do it.
We started by downloading all the needed files and modifying them to our liking. When setting up to print, we added this script into Cura to tell the printer to pause before closing up the magnet holes. We ordered some 5mm buckyball type spherical magnets from Amazon. We then printed all the pieces using PLA filament, adding the magnets when the printer paused during printing. The player pieces were printed in colored PLA and not painted. Moses modeled and printed these paint shields that clip onto the pieces so we don't have to mask every piece with tape. They work really well, but a few spots did require touching up. We like the look of black around each piece where the roads and settlements go, so we didn't paint over that part. Next, we primed all the pieces evenly, turning them between passes to ensure the primer gets in every crevice. One great thing about this project is there's no sanding required. In our opinion, the layer lines actually add a nice texture to the terrain, so we're happy to just clean up a few strings and get right into the painting. Now comes the fun part, painting the pieces. We used acrylic paint, and I'll list all the colors we used for each piece so you can try to match our colors if you want, but don't be afraid to give it your own spin. Dry brushing is a simple painting technique that we used on almost every piece. It gives the piece depth and texture. To dry brush an area, start with a darker base coat, then load up a lighter color on your brush. Then wipe nearly all the paint back off the brush until it's almost completely dry. The idea is to scrape the paint onto the edges and textures, bringing out the natural texture of the piece. You can go back over it with a lighter color, or even an entirely different color to give it an even more natural look. This technique works on any surface that has texture, like block walls and stacks of wood or bricks. Even the grassy hills look a little better with a lighter color dry brushed onto them. After painting all the pieces, we sprayed them with a matte clear coat, and the set was finished. Thanks again for joining us on this episode of Make Something Epic. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you did, please hit the like button down below, and we have a lot of epic projects planned for the future, so please hit that subscribe button if you want to see those first. And don't forget to check out our Patreon if you want to get all the files that we used in this project.
See you later.
Bye.